You know, the time it took me to set up this stream, to make sure everything was running good, to make sure I'm ready to roll. I was gonna try and get this set up while the loading screens were running, but it took me so long. And the loading screens are done, which is terrifying because the loading screen takes like half a century. Anyways, nobody's here to hear that other than you VOD watchers. Hello, VOD friends. Where did my stuff go? Oh, come on. Oh, wait, no, it survived. Okay, I'm confused. Whatever boats the float. Hello, WMR, welcome to hell. How may I take your order? You know what? Add a tiny piece of outside terrain over here somewhere. Greetings, fellow line rollers. How's the line rolling? More like line backing. Get back on the football field. Hello. Things are going good. I've been hard at work this last week doing this project, which has been, it's been a little bit overkill, to say the least. It's been a lot of fun to work on, but good God. Oh, we need... Yes, we want you. And... yeah, we'll put one of these on that. Why not? Sheesh, yeah, sheesh indeed. It's been a bit of an undertaking. But when inspiration hits, it hits hard, and sometimes you just gotta roll with it, you know? Oh, wait, hold on. That's actually a small enough piece that I could just make that a bridge. I was thinking I was going to have to split this into multiple segments. I'm stupid. We can remove ballast, add... let's do a trestle. Need some Wellington and Manitow Railway rolling stock on it. Problem, there are legitimately clearance issues that make it so you cannot run anything smaller than RL30 on this, or bigger than RL30 on this railroad. Despite the major amount of space we have, there are some rock walls that are a bit close to the tracks. Rare footage of me showing up on a stream. Found footage live stream when. Found footage ARG of people showing up. Boing. It's got quite some travel distance. Yeah, at speed step 40, it takes half an hour. Now that's accounting for the fact, assuming there's somebody in your way, you know, that assumes you have to do meets at one of the many passing sidings on the way out. There's 15 passing sidings between each end of the line. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully. A little overwhelming, but fun. Install one of those rock slide detectors. You know, I might have to, honestly. It's It's the perfect terrain to put one in. Oh, also, for the court record, this piece of track doesn't need to exist, but I'm leaving it in as a little Easter egg. The point of this track is there's two passes on the railroad. There's one over there, and there's one over here. Or not passes, but mountains. And so, I decided to have a height comparison. And this is the highest point on the other mountain. So, hell yeah, this one's taller. Totally not compensating for anything. No, sir. Detailing rural scenery is so quick to do per footage track. It really is. It really is. It gets done very quickly. And welcome to the club. I'm not looking forward to doing the rural scenery on this layout to such a point that I'm considering asking basically anyone to do the job for me. I suck at doing buildings. Compensating for a lack of FN3. No, we're doing that in different ways, RPG. We're doing that in different ways. We got other tales to tell. Also, the podcast is tomorrow, right? Just to make sure that I'm not forgetting something. It was? Oh, did you back out? Or is it dead somehow? Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Ads after having seen them just a few minutes ago. Twitch.tv moment. I'd love to turn off ads completely and just have a basic live stream, but first of all, Twitch would yell at me. They would say you can't do that. Second of all, I don't make enough money doing this to make this an actual job. It has been years and will continue to be so before I can earn $2. Can be back anytime. They say, oh, hell yeah, okay, that's cool. Glad that they were considerate on that situation. Thank God. I'd be a little surprised if not. Sturgis is 10 cents. Not even 10 cents, it's like 5. I forgot I had a VPN on. I got jump scared by a kid. Creepy Dutch games, yeah. Dude, I would kill for that. I would kill for that. How's everyone doing today? I'm doing good, personally. Got to watch Zootopia 2 last night. What else happened? I think that's the most interesting thing that's happened this entire week. Other than, oh yeah, on Wednesday I watched Zootopia 1 and stayed up till 8 a.m. Zootopia? You have no idea how many times I've been making that joke with my friends. Ham and eggs. Oh my god. Finally, I'm on the receiving end of this terrible pun. You get paid for the magazine writer job, or is that a volunteer thing? Volunteer thing. Speaking of which, I have to get that uploaded soon. That released on Monday. It is now Saturday. It's been a while, to say the least. Oh, also, you know what? I should give you guys a grand tour of the layout so far. The idea is very similar to the Dusk and Baxter. It starts as a standard gauge interchange and works its way into a red rock terrain up to a major mining town. However, there are some notable differences from the Dusk and Baxter. For instance, if I were to do the math real quick, let me pull up a calculator. No, wait, oh, I did that backwards. This layout is about 9 times the size. Nine times the size of the Dusk and Baxter. It's going to go through a prairie, across a river, into a forest, which will follow a river through the forest, to a big town that'll have helper services, not very many, but some, to climb over a hill, which doesn't really have very many towns as much as it does just passing sightings. Up here, helper service will terminate and go back down the hill, either direction, depending on what's going on. Really, I think the most interesting part of the layout so far is this area, where, waterfall. I mean, come on, that's pretty. I'm really proud of how this waterfall turned out. I'm even more proud of how this one turned out, though. I think this would be one of the most striking and pretty scenes on the railroad. In fact, it probably is one of the most, but it's not the most, in my opinion, because we have a Georgetown Loop-style situation. Here at Crabclaw, the track loops down around itself, and from this angle, it doesn't look all that impressive. From this angle, though, I'm really proud of this bridge. I really like how this turned out, despite its simplicity. Anyways, train continues down through a town, through a big town, through a small town, through a small town, through an oil town, and now it climbs this little hill, and we're getting to this part, which is the part we're going to be building today. It's missing a Walmart parking lot. Good God, I do not want a concrete wasteland the size of Texas. Please. I beg of you, have mercy. Gotta keep all the blahages somewhere. I do need to get a blahage at some point. I don't have one, which feels a little astonishing, honestly, because I do like collecting plushies and it feels right up my alley. Marketable stir plushie. I wish I was big enough to pull that off. I wish. Can you imagine how awesome that would be to actually have, though? Oh, I'd kill. I'd kill for one. First time in a while tuning into one of your streams. How's it going? It's going all right. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Just having some fun building a comically large layout in rolling line. Counterpoint marketable snickerdoodle plushie. I mean, if we want snickerdoodle marketing, just do like stickers or trinkets or something. I used my timeout self, but it was never activated. So you did. I did not hear that. It's okay, I'll time you out on Steam instead. Why did bro color the rock under the bridge? It's not gonna be a rock! It's a boulder. In all seriousness, it's because there's going to be a tiny creek here. And so that's why we have this little bit of blue. A large boulder the size of a small boulder. A large boulder the size of a medium-sized boulder. When can we have the small boulder the size of a large boulder, SMH? Why do the names disappear? My name is at BNSF Railroad, which is my secondary name, but it's usually just Brett. Because YouTube is really wanting to push handles rather than names for some reason. I've been seeing a lot of these things that are like, hey, here's the at sign, here's the actual not the name of the person, but their identification. Go ham. Like, really, it's just a stupid update if you ask me. I don't like it. Especially because it's affecting the chat box in the streams. It's kind of cute seeing the names, right? But the handles, I don't want to see at sign. Like, I'm baffled at the amount of train games on the Switch. You'd think it'd be the perfect ground for them. Why would the Switch be a perfect ground for a train game, though? But, like, I'm legitimately just... I don't see it. I don't see the dots connected. Are we talking Switch, or are we talking Switch 2? Sinkhole the size of the small boat. Oh my god, this is just tongue twister. I'm pushing handles now. Back in the day, I had my account be my username. And when Google Plus died, they were like, it's your IRL name now. Yeah, they just... It's called change for the sake of making the investors like you a little better. It's not productive. It's done to keep your job. Mainly like kids that like trains. I would think that something like Trains on Switch would sell like hotcakes. Trains on Switch sounds like a kind of bad idea, if you ask me. Like, first of all, obviously, microtransactions, just personal preference. I don't... wait, no, sorry, I'm thinking of Train Simulator. My bad. I'm thinking of the Dovetail one for a second here. Jeez. Wrong game. Wrong game. Nonetheless, I don't think the Switch has the graphical capacity to pull that off. Switch 2 may be an older version, but like these newer ones, I feel like you need more stylized games these days to really capture children's attention, and trains just wouldn't cut it in that kind of market, if you ask me. What's the idea for this layout? Dusk and Baxter, but big. I feel like Switch would be Densha D Go. I believe there is a Sony game. Oh wait, no, but that's not Switch. Damn it. There's a game somebody showed me once, which is literally just skateboarding, except it's like one of those skateboarding games where you do slick tricks along a bunch of rails and whatnot. Except you're driving a commuter train. You're driving a Japanese EMU. Just a single car of it, nothing more. Now that would be the peak kind of game I would expect to see on the Switch. A multi-track drifting game. I don't think it's multi-track drifting. Something else. Metro and Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Yeah, what's that one engine that somebody tried to marry or whatever? Or successfully married? I don't know. The what? Topaz has been around this community this long and hasn't heard this story before? That's like somebody being around in this community for such a long time and not hearing the Nachos story. Are there any rare big gauges that are bigger than standard gauge? Yeah, they're just called broad gauge. Some of them are specific types, like Brunel, brunette. Wait, hold on, that's a hairstyle. Generally speaking, though, it's like actually, in fact, there are still some broad gauge railroads, especially in Russia, which is, I believe, 5-foot gauge. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Waterboarding? Wait, hold on. That's not waterboarding. That's just a sip. By the way, if any of you guys have any ideas to pitch for the layout, like, let's face it, I'll probably miss it while reading chat, but feel free to pitch them. I'm probably going to add a light forest to this whole area. Like, I know this really feels like super rocky terrain, but let's face it, trees grow everywhere. Except for maybe the desert, but still, close enough. Too bad I spent my points on worse ads, I say. But hey, if you spend your points on worse ads, it means there's no ads for the rest of the hour. It's just free real estate. I feel like you could do really crazy mine tipples out somewhere up here. I'm thinking of it. I feel like we need a good geared engine in order to make it work, but I was thinking of having it so there's like a little path over here where the tracks climb up one last hill to make it to a mine all the way up here. And it's like a separate service that has to be run, that has to be switched. But there's also so much room for a really big mine in this area. Like, that's a big platform, you know? An interchange with an interurban. In the mountains? Generally speaking, I'm thinking of tips and ideas for the mountains, not for the railroad as a whole. I'm looking for scenery ideas. Avalanche? Avalanche could be interesting. Not sure how to pull it off, but... God. Imagine an active avalanche using the particle emitters. Something like this, but it's just a bunch of boulders, a bunch of rocks. That'd be fun. Just realized how much has happened in terms of train games in 24 to 25. Railroader in December 24, Rolling Line multiplayer, Train Misconductor was announced, COS being a thing. Whoa, COS was 24? I thought it was earlier than that. Or is this release date like finally been announced after 3 years? I love how ramshackle mine buildings were, sort of chaotic yet purposeful. There's one that I really like, which a friend of mine has been sharing with me. The Dolly Varden Railway. It was a mine railroad. It lasted less than a year or something like that. It was really... It was really silly. I think COS was 24. I can't remember. I think it was 23 because I remember getting really angry about it because people wouldn't stop talking about it and kept using it as a way to either dunk on Heist or dunk on Railroads Online. And I was only playing Railroads Online at the time. So I think it was 23 that it was announced. Dolly Parton? Somebody needs their ears checked, WMR. Did you accidentally get an eraser stuck up there like I did in the 8th grade? If you've seen any pictures of Saluda, you could do something like that. I've kind of already got a helper grade. I don't need something as crazy as Saluda. um, it might be, maybe we need to tone things down a little bit, huh? Thinking something closer to the hound itself at the top. Oh, fair enough, fair enough. That is a vibe. The grade itself. I'm sorry, Southern Foamers. You guys are overhyping it. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Abandoned track to an exhausted mine would be cool. I mean, once a mine closes, why keep the track there? I feel like you're kind of contradicting yourself there. Like, I think this is just legitimately poor wording, if anything. What do you mean, once a mine closes, why keep the track there? Like, you mean it's sensical to remove the track? Because that's the message I'm reading out of that. I think Dolly actually does like trains. Dollywood has 2 running steam locomotives that run around that park. True. True. But no, I'm talking about the Dolly Varden Mines Railroad. It was there's somebody on the server who's a little bit obsessed with it in a good way. So if you want to learn about it, Jarek, aka Cornwolf, just shoot him a ping in Real Trains, ask him about it, and he'll be happy to talk. Ask him about the funky mine building. Fixing this is gonna be hard. Do you watch F1 at all? No. I'm a boat channel. This is just trains on the side to do espionage. Stir is an airplane channel. Honestly, that would be a great way to weaponize trauma. I hate my mother and she survived a plane crash. She'd never watch a plane channel. Sure is a submarine channel run by the CIA. That's just like that one Star Wars place that they ran in the early 2000s that got agents killed. You gonna see FNAF 2 opening one night / weekend? Nah. I'm not really a moviegoer, and my FNAF phase is well gone by this point. The chaotic introverted asexuals? No, the chloroform inventors advocates. Clearly. What else would it mean? Come on. Who would actually advocate for that? Why would you need that as a group? What purpose would that serve? Sounds like a terrible marketing ploy. Hello, Jack. Welcome to the stream. Just came back from visiting my grandparents on Thanksgiving. How was yours? Surprisingly, not bad this year. And by that, I mean we didn't do anything for once. I hate Thanksgiving. It's my least favorite holiday. Or least favorite, my most hated holiday. I think it's a good holiday. I just have not good memories surrounding it. And a lot of them. One way to get rid of Thanksgiving is to get away from the US, or better yet, just tell people I don't like Thanksgiving and have them not celebrate with me. The food is good at least. I didn't get any food. The entirety of my Thanksgiving was a frozen pizza and the regular dinner plan. Also, I'll be honest, the only thing I really like out of Thanksgiving food is like turkey. That's it. Everything else kind of sucks. Curiosity has bitten me. How many industries are you planning on adding, if any at all? I'm planning, for this layout, there's going to be a lot. The major industries, there's going to be 2 of them. There's going to be a big mine over here in the town of Alice at the top of the hill, so you have to go the whole route. And down in Deadwood, there's going to be an oil industry. Oh my god, I thought these were like crows or something. They're just biome brushes I've left laying around. Look at them go. Bonk. There will be an oil field here in Deadwood and an iron ore mine at the top of the hill. So there's going to be really long runs for most industries, but every town is going to have like 1 or 2 small industries to service. Like, say this is a team track and, I don't know, lumberyard. I can't think of creative industries on the spot. I'm lazy. I do know this is going to be a brewery right here, for instance, though. But basically, every town is going to have one industry on the railroad. The exceptions to this rule are this town, which is just a passing siding. It's not even going to be a town, actually. It's just literally going to be a passing siding. The same is true for this town, and this town. So 4 out of 17 towns will not have one industry. There's going to be a little bit disservice. As an extrovert, I like Thanksgiving, especially when the whole family shows up. My brother recently started talking to our family again after needing some space for like 2.5 years. It was good to see everyone. Felt like the first time, felt whole for the first time in years. See, the thing is, for me, I'm an ambivert. I like the idea of Thanksgiving, I hate the execution. The reason I hate the execution is because the people who I live with, or who I lived with, fuck you, Mom, forced me to go to social events that were larger than my social battery could handle by a pretty decent amount by going to our church's Thanksgiving. And instead of trying to address the situation and the fact that I just didn't have that much of a social battery, for working with literally 100 people at a church gathering, even if I only had to deal with a small portion of those people, she instead blamed it on an iron deficiency that she thought was making me depressed. And let's face it, I did have an iron deficiency, but I've had that for a really long time, and it was still within a somewhat normal range. I was, like, not dying or anything. So, I do not have good memories of Thanksgiving. Then again, I also just don't have good memories of my mom in general, so who's surprised by this story? I'm an extroverted introvert, and I like being around people either one-on-one or a group from a distance. I am an ambivert. Like, I find the optimal size of group for me is 4 people, including myself. And it's why we don't really do live streams that include any voice calls or anybody else, because trying to keep up with Twitch chat and YouTube chat is difficult enough for me to do, right? It would drive me nuts. I feel like big events for holiday creates too much expectation. It's not just that, there's just too much noise going on. Because, like, it was a potluck. Everybody was going there just to share food and then eat it, right? But I don't know half these people. I don't know, like, 75% of the people who were at this potluck. I was sat next to my parents, who were sat next to their friends, who I really didn't know all that well. And, what else happened? Oh yeah, did I mention it was loud? I know I mentioned it was loud. It was sensory overload with how many people there were. And all it would have taken to avoid this simple instance was for my mother to accept that I wanted to say no. Alas. I think Thanksgiving is a cool holiday in general. I like it, but I just don't like it personally, you know? If that makes sense. I switched from Fusion to Tinkercad for the Jackson Sharp coaches. Laser cutter when? Laser cutter when? Can you imagine how cool it would be to actually sell those as, like, kits? Here you go, kid. Try and put them together. Happy Christmas. Merry birthday. Will you be mad if I say the version I'm making is more suited towards printing? I'm not going to be mad because you're wrong. 3D, if it's designed for 3D printing, it's surprisingly easy to do for laser cutting. I've learned enough about making files for laser cutting. It's gonna be easy, dude. It's gonna be easy. Yeah, whatever, that's good enough. Stir wants wood. I do! It's so much... Well, it's not so much better than 3D printing. It has cool applications in addition to 3D printing. I'm sorry? Sorry for what? Because if it's for the Thanksgiving stuff, like, it's my mom, it's not you guys. She's just a terrible human being. Bamboo Lab printer HDD the laser cut module. Hell yeah! You know it. Actually, there's a different program that I'd use and a different cutter that I'd use. I just got a FNAF movie ad and the voice they used to make it sound like Stephen Hawking was narrating it. Stephen Hawking's The Fault in Our... Well, no, it's not The Fault in Our... I don't remember what his famous thing was. Just a documentary, but it's just... That's entirely Stephen Hawking, but it's just FNAF. They're doing ads every 20 minutes. No, yeah. I do less, but if we do... The problem is with Twitch ads... You have to do a minimum of 3 ads per hour. Or not 3 ads, 3 minutes of ads per hour. So either that means 2 minutes every 40 minutes, 3 minutes every hour, or 1 minute every 20. You can, of course, do even longer timestamps, right? Like 4 minutes every hour 20, or 5 minutes every 2, or hour 40, or whatever, but... That's unfortunately nothing new. They've been doing this for a long time. Why does the world have to revolve so much around money? Like, I get it. Money, but also, why? A senior quote right there, guys. Money equals Mr. Krabs. I mean, we do have a town named Crabclaw. Does that count for something? Look. Bam. Haha. We did the thing. So, where was it? Gameplay. Isn't there some option for train viewing distance or whatever? Guess on the topics of rough parents, my mother has Parkinson's. Is that the one where people swear a lot? I don't remember Parkinson's off the top of my head. Not equals, it's a... Oh, I see, you put a dash. Okay, we're subtracting Mr. Krabs from money. Got it. We're killing the man. Yes, Tourette's. Do you own trains? I do not own trains. It's a game that I, like, played as a kid. A little bit. But I think it was like 20 minutes tops. I never got hooked. Stir does not own trains. Well, of course I don't own trains. Are you kidding me? They're expensive. It's like $10,000 just for a single diesel. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need... We need to get a train up the hill so that we can actually test the, whatever this is called. Test the clearances. Where are you going that you get 10k for one unit? I need to know. I think it was Ozark Mountain Railcar. They have a 50-ton center cab outside. It's one of those ones that has drive rods on it or whatever. It's not 3 foot. It's standard gauge. I don't know how well it runs. Stir buys a speeder when adopt a speeder program. Adopt a speed stir. I'll show myself the door. Also, for the court record, when I said that it takes 30 minutes for trains to cross the entire map, this is the speed that those trains were running at. And by no means is this slow. I feel like this is going to be an excellent map to have like 15 operators on all at once. Could you imagine? Like somebody switching out the mines, somebody switching out the yard, somebody running helper duties. I'm suddenly looking at train. I know there are some other engines. I've seen like a pair of SW1s or I think it was SW7s or 8s or something. I would pair of them for 60k. There's a steam engine that's a rusted out Hulk that somebody's selling for 50k and they don't want it to go to a cutter's torch. Oh my god, okay, well. And this is why we run the train up the hill. Once working 2-foot gauge steam engine for 10k. Damn. Was it an amusement park, Loco? You know, I didn't actually look at how the train was interacting with the terrain here. I really should. Plantation style? Hell yeah. Gonna add some ambient sound areas to your map. I don't really know how to do that. And considering I'm hoping to complete this in time for the multiplayer jam or whatever, and I need help from other people doing the town scenes, I would not hold my breath on adding ambient sounds. God, that train's moving so fast and it takes half an hour to get across the map. But God, I would be lying if I said this didn't look slick. Most recently, I saw a working 2-footer for 2 carriages for 75k. I know there's a working 3-foot steam engine on Ozark. I believe it is... it's in Oregon, in fact, but I believe it's like $350,000. For that kind of money, I'm just going to focus on starting up a competitor to Fred Meyers or something. Like, that's a lot of cash, man. Just saying. Friend of mine owns a little Dima. I don't know the Dima DL6, but on 2'6" struggles with 5 empty tipper wagons. Oh my god. That's beautiful. I love it. 10 out of 10. I am curious about what kind of engine that is, though. I'm kind of shocked I don't know it. But come on, it's 30-inch gauge. This is right up my alley. How'd I be unaware? I just got a really interesting idea. That I might have to pull off. It's a German loco. I figured Demo was the builder. I just never heard of this particular model. Which, you know, makes sense. American ignorance, right? Idea. What if we had 2 waterfalls here? One in front of the tracks, and one behind. Yeah, everybody's out, like, I'm just over here thinking, oh, well, we should add this really big imposing waterfall, but we already had a waterfall right behind a bridge over here. Do we really want another one? But... you know what? The 3-foot gauge loco is only $200,000. Yeah, I heard they lowered the price. I just didn't hear what they lowered it to. Think we can claim that as a business expense? It's a promotional material. We're running it on the Durango and Silverton and one coach. Maybe. You know, someday I'd do that, but we are not in that territory, sadly. I wish, my man, I wish. That'd be so funny. Okay, how do we make... I think we have to start by removing this. I think we have to start there. Mods would be... First mods would be making it look more American. Yeah, especially the cab windows. Did you see that one porter I sent a while back in the Goops and Scrunkly Boys chat that looked like it was made by Owen K? I actually really like the way that looked. I think that could be fun to sort of like make. The geared fucker? No, not the geared fucker. Not the geared fucker. That's a different one. That's a completely different locomotive. God, I like that waterfall a lot. But you know what would make this waterfall even cooler? You know what? That's not what I was thinking of, but... Since the hour has ticked over, does that mean I can do worse ads? I mean, ads are coming in 2 minutes anyways. If you want to do worse ads, now is the time. Case in point. Should I donate the remaining 3.72 in my model train fund to you? That is not a lot of money. Go like buy a pack of Cheetos or something. Make sure you're well fed, man. I say as I do actually need money for projects and whatnot. Who needs food when you can have trains? Yeah, that's been my attitude for the last year. Accurate depiction of me. Gotta go, I got stuff to do. Alright, take care. And if you die, write me into the will. You know, it'd actually be kind of funny if somebody did do that, but also really depressing if somebody died and that was how we found out. Add a second engine, please. I will pass. This is a part of the railroad that doesn't have helper service. And the main point of doing this is just to test clearances, not intolerances of intended usage, you know? Helper service? I'm going to throw you through a wall. Oop. I just realized I think I'm getting addicted to waterfalls. Because we're going to have one waterfall here. We're going to have a second waterfall immediately after that. We have this third waterfall that looks a little jank because I can't be bothered to fix it yet. This waterfall that we just added. There's a waterfall right here that I'm planning to add. So that's 4 waterfalls so far. And we have this 5th massive one right here. And the 6th one, or the first one, right here. And we haven't even finished all of the rivers because I also have to do this sucker, which is probably going to have a waterfall somewhere. Hey, Celestial, welcome to the stream. Oh, welcome to the stream. Loco seems to be hitting the side of the wall. Let's run it through. Let's see how that looks. It's close. Maybe I should move it out a little bit. Oh yeah, especially considering that. Let's give it a little turn. Trains and waterfalls are just pretty with each other, just saying. I mean, to be fair, waterfalls are just pretty. Just saying. Okay, well that didn't work. Turn it out a little more, maybe. Out. Turn. I have an idea. Make an oil? What's the difference between an oil and a regular oil, huh? we have an oil refinery on the railroad already. Like, I do like my ore hauling, but let's face it, if you only have ore trains on a railroad, it gets a little boring. So, you need to rotate each and every one of them. I'm not trying to do what you're thinking. They need to be straight because this is how bridges would actually have looked back in the day. The middle span would have been completely straight. And so that's why I'm manually building it as such. Sure, there's a little bit of awkwardness on one side of the bridge, but on this side, you'd never notice. It'll look great, it'll look fine, it'll look dandy. Rock. To be honest, probably going to be real nice running in miniature mode in the cab of the Loco. Hopefully. I try to make it... Well, I'm somebody who prefers much more so to drive in full scale. I just find it more fun because it feels like a model. I have still done my best to make these areas feel appropriate. For miniature mode, like there's still the edge of the layout, obviously, right? Like there's no new details that have been magically added in. But try to make these areas pretty from a standing viewpoint, just so you can have a little bit of fun running your trains, you know? It may not be my style, but that doesn't mean it's nobody's style. I have a very specific desire in train games, which is to be able to view the train in third person, but only control them in first person. No, I don't know why that is. That is a very peculiar stance. Might have something to do with a sense of self-control, like the desire to have certain places for certain things. With the distinguishment of you have to be in the cab to drive the train versus I want to take photos and thus need to be out of the train, you know? I don't know. Definitely a unique take. Something I haven't seen before. Like we're in a doctor's office. I just finished the rolling stock. They look beautiful. The way you said that made it sound like it was a movie or something. I'm not gonna lie. For a split second there, my brain was like, the rolling stock? What's the rolling stock? How have I never heard of this book? It felt like a movie making them. Hey, if you're watching YouTube, it could be. You could make it a movie. Easy solution. Rolling Stock sounds like a band trying to be about be Rolling Stones without getting copyright. It's like the Rolling Stones, but about economics. I find it hilarious that two people immediately went to a very similar joke. Beautiful. Hello, Cammy. Welcome to hell. No. How may I take your order? Have you seen the new Davenport Switchers mod? I've seen the progress photos as the mod was being built. I haven't seen the mod itself yet, though. Is it on the workshop already? That's cool. Got my ass out of bed finally. That is very much a mood. I woke up at 11 a.m. I didn't get out of bed until 2 p.m. I know what that feeling's like. There we go. Funnily enough, there's a photo edit of a round of the dev and someone he met up with, where it's made to look like a band cover of the Rolling Lights, gave it a 5 out of 5 rating. Nice. Beautiful. I went back to sleep, immediately dreamt of this fictitious model railroad club that was queer positive, but had absolutely atrocious track quality. I love that even in a dream, that was extremely important to you. We couldn't get the PAX 2 feet without it derailing or uncoupling. Hell yeah. What kind of PAX was it? Do you remember? This is very important Cammy lore. Vital. Alright, and I think
Here we go!
this is going to be the last waterfall piece for now. Because we can cut out this part of the river, make it sort of weasel into this area. You know what? For you, let's make it so the velocity is 1.2, see if that changes anything. That helps. I think we can do a little better. How about 1.4? It's a kind of shitty daylight contest with one of those daylight patterned BLO 462s at the front. Daylight patterned Commodore Vanderbilt when? That was just rolled. Congrats, Topaz. That was a 5. And a 5, well, it means that we're probably not going to get advertisements for the rest of the stream. But it also means, works ads. Good luck and Godspeed, soldiers on Twitch. What is a advertising? Something that the FBI or something tells you to block. Therefore, it is terrible. It is bad. Whatever it is, it shouldn't exist. Hi, back. I'm stir. Wait, that's not. Are you sure that's not? What if it is? Oh my god, that's what's happening. The bubble's too big. Oops. Wrong button. Oh. I'm new stir, the same old stir but with 200% FN3, so literally just two engines? Wow, what a big amount of FN3. Let's give a round of applause. Just got a fucking ad within an ad? What? It was a bacon ad that shifted into stainless steel shaving razors, then back to... What? Huh? Well, this is dystopian. Wow. Wow. Sorry, my bad. Some... Stainless steel bacon is definitely a flavor. Hey, it's better than the rubber ones, okay? Oh, I say that? I don't like bacon. In general, bacon just is not my cup of tea. Don't like the texture, don't like the taste. I'll eat your bacon for you. Thank you, Cabby. Thank you. Please do. That sounds so... I hate that you're right, and I immediately agreed to it, and now I realize what you mean, and I hate... My life. My life is a lie. What else is new? What about long bacon? What the heck is long bacon? Is that bacon, but they decided to put it in like one of those doctors don't want you to know this advertisement campaigns? Long bacon is... Oh, long bacon's Soylent Green. I didn't like it, really. A little too stringy. That's how you get clipped out of context and thrown up on the internet for people to judge you. This is going to suck to edit. I don't want the particles. I want those pieces that I mistakenly placed. You can't say gay bacon? Wow. That's wild. Particle emitters are the worst when it comes to fine editing. Honestly, it'd be nice if they had their own editing layer. I know, right? That would be slick. I'd love to see a feature like that. I'd sign a petition. Can't have bacon anymore because I got fatty liver disease. That is such an on the nose description of a disease. What the hell? Apologies, sir, but we're going to have an argument about this soon as I can appoint an argument at 7:30 tomorrow. I'm sorry, I'm booked through till Christmas. I've got arguments for the rest of the year. Would January 12th work? Isn't bacon made of livers and stuff? If you've got fatty liver at that point, you're just prolonging the bacon cycle. Hell yeah. Extended bacon. You could say long bacon. You shouldn't, but you could. I want you to suffer. What's it this time?
Mamma mia!
Oh god. Well, you know, after the antics of last night, fair enough. I've got a rabbit throwing competition on the 12th. Damn. We'll have to reschedule again then. Don't worry, we'll get there eventually. One of these years. You know, I should have taken photos of the before and after for doing the waterboarding. It's a little too late for that. Ironically, eating liver could help. Really? Wow. Excuse me. Are you really going to make me go and get one more glass of water just so I can fulfill that hydrate? Really? Is this the kind of Mexican standoff we're having today? That's cruel and unusual punishment. I love it. I'm stealing that for future use. Well, chat, you know what? I'm going to use this as an opportunity to go use the restroom, too. We're an hour and 30 minutes into the stream. And if we're going to be here for a bit,
Boing.
might as well do some worse advertising, right? I'll see y'all in probably about 3 minutes, or else. There is water.
Boo.
Alright, I'm back. Ugh. What I miss? I didn't even take 3 minutes. Jeez. Keep getting this AI generated stock trading edit. Dude, on YouTube, my advertisements have been so jank recently. They've been so stupid. I've been getting this like AI. I don't think it's been an AI stock trader. I just think it's been an AI assistant. Like, hello, do you want to take AI training courses? Don't you? You should take the training courses. They're so helpful. I don't know. It was very. But I've also been getting a Dungeons and Dragons advertisement. That's 2 hours and 15 minutes long. I've been getting this multiple times. Now, most of the advertisements I actually get, you know, because I watch YouTube on my PC more often than not. Most of these advertisements are on my phone, and my phone, I'm watching stuff late at night. I'm watching videos at like 2 in the morning, just as a little bit of white noise. And I don't get it. I get lewd ads despite the fact that I don't look that up, let alone similar content near my account anywhere. Is there anybody in your house who you think might do that? Because speaking from personal experience, I am aware that advertisements can be displayed on one person's computer or somebody else's. They are mildly IP targeted. I once got in the entire Lego movies, and I saw that once too. I remember on Twitter there's a promotional thing they did for the second Lego movie, which is really sad that movie flopped. That movie it's surprisingly fun. Nonetheless, the second Lego movie, they did a promotional thing where you could just watch the entire Lego movie in Twitter as long as you liked their post about the Lego movie too. Glorious. Beautiful. The second movie is giving me flashbacks. I still don't know what you guys found so bad about it. I'm just out here thinking it was a fun time. It was all right. What did I miss? Low-key did not realize that the Rolling Line fandom still existed on YouTube. I mean, to be fair, I'm kind of just somebody who likes streaming whatever the heck I want to. And right now, there just happens to be Rolling Line. Pacific Rim was on YouTube freebies recently. Isn't that like a sort of big monster mech movie? Don't think I've seen that one. Obviously, I've heard of it, but I'm not really a moving going type most of the time. Stay at home with my trains. I think I need to do that real quick. Maybe move it back a little bit, move it in a little bit. No, we definitely, it needs to cover most of that white piece. That'll do. That'll do. Considering it's got aliens and giant robots, it's gotta be peak. If you've been keeping up with my yapping in the Discord, you'll know my bias. I mean, let's be fair. Aliens, Your name is Celestial Caboose. Your name is Celestial. Of course you're gonna have some little interest in that. Evening, fellow rail fans. I could use some help. I am currently working on a map. I'm having a heck of a time trying to make it as I'm working with another person. Anyone got any tips to make it go a bit smoother between me and the other person? I unfortunately don't, but it seems somebody's already responded. What could I think of? Obviously, you got to share the save file back and forth, and have a list of mods so that you're both on the same page. But it's also good to actually have an external drawing and reference images outside of the game as a means of God, sorry, brain is spacing out a tiny bit. As a means of communication about visual style and aesthetic, and for how the layout is supposed to come together, you know? It's not a big tip, but I find that it helps to have a vision and a plan. What a pathetic waterfall. In my opinion, having a sketch of it all from the outset is also helpful, something you can reference but aren't totally bound to. Exactly. Still waiting for Frank, for those who don't know, the game dev. I've only heard of him referred to as Gage, not Frank. It will be nice to have multiplayer editing. I can also understand why it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. I can respect that. Oh, Frank's is his old username? Gotcha. I find it funny how many people online have usernames that are like that are like totally real names, but aren't theirs at all. Like, for instance, Double M Dave, who happens to be on the server, he's not Dave, but everybody calls him that. Waterfall like that needs rock work under it to support it. I'm getting there, Cammy. I'm getting there. You gotta start with the falls and then make the actual groundwork around it, right? Cause oh god, this is giving me a bad idea for something really cool. Oh my god. Chat, should we have a waterfall that the train actually goes under somehow? Or is that too fantastical and I should save it for something else? I have an entire friend group who mostly knows me by Gibby. You mean like the character from iCarly? Urinal looking waterfall. I can't talk right now. I'm making piss. All right, let's get a little bit of rock work under here. Bam. I think that looks good. I think too fantastical. That said, trains going between geysers, spouts. Wait, hold on. There's like a wiring system. Is there some way to make it so the geysers actually fire off at certain times rather than firing constantly? I'm sure the non-visible tourists will like it. I mean, hey, if this is gonna be for the multiplayer map jam, maybe. I'm gonna work on my RL map while watching the stream. Hopefully I can get working CTC stuff. Dude, working CTC on a layout like this would be awesome. Imagine, like, over in this corridor, just underneath the layout, there's a little room where somebody sits as a dispatcher for the entire main line. Okay, you know what? The idea's in my head. I'll work on that later. But you have like a little chair prop sitting here. You have a bunch of monitors. Or not monitors, just little switchboards that handle the main line. Ferb, I know what we're doing today. Unfortunately, 2 is not geographically consistent. Please don't spoil it. I have yet to see it. Cammy and I watched it together last night along with another friend. It was good in my opinion. I had fun watching it. Felt like some parts were rushed. It definitely felt like there was more creativity than in some recent Disney movies. You know, does anybody here know of anyone who actually likes the movie Wish? Just a quick question. Not asking to throw shade, I'm asking so I can judge. Senior quote right there. I don't watch movies, says streamer who watched a movie that came out this week. Hey, to be fair, it is the second movie I have watched this month, and the third one that I have watched this year. I don't really watch movies often. It is true that I did watch something that came out very, very recently, but just trust me, bro. More creativity than in some recent Disney movies is not a particularly high bar to clear, and it doesn't even come close to meeting the narrative intrigue and nuance of the first one. To be fair, It doesn't mean I'm not, like, I'm fine with that. I don't need something quite as complex as Zootopia, because when we watched the original Zootopia, you were pausing every, like, 5 minutes to make sure that we actually understood what was going on. I don't want a lot for Christmas. Neither do I. I just want $20 and a cup of coffee. Actually, I don't even want the cup of coffee. I don't like coffee. What am I saying? Alright, how's that looking? How are we feeling, chat? How's this appear? God, that's gonna be so much fun to actually run a train through. I guess we'll have to start testing out trees soon, huh? Because there's got to be some kind of forest here, right? Has there still not been a sound set up for that? Is there a sound I could set up for that? Over the flavored waterboarding? No. Wait, this flavored waterboarding is active right now? Nah. Hold on. We gotta disable that. I forgot. Oops. Alright, bam, it's gone. Congrats. It's been banished to the Shadow Realm. I don't have apple cider on me. I assume for the waterfall there's noises, right? There's some way I could set that up. I'll figure that out later. My brain power is focused on I want to get this terrain finished so I can get trees in place and make this thing look really nice. Honestly, Encanto is pretty good. I never watched Encanto. Then again, I'm not a movie person, but I feel like it needs to be said just because of how popular that movie was. I need to state that out loud. I need to make sure the world is aware that I'm a nerd who doesn't watch movies or keep up with cultural events. Same could be said for Moana and Frozen 2. Both act the hardened engineer. For Moana 2 and Frozen 2, or for Moana and Frozen 2? I'm confused. I'm baffled. I've been boom-bazzled. Moana 1 and Frozen 2. I'm surprised you would say that about Frozen 2. I'm surprised you compare Frozen 2 to Moana. This are rocks. This our area? I'm sorry, I'm very confused. Because you are right, this are rocks, but this, oh, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. This area rocks. It'll look better with trees. After all, trees can make the paper to beat the rocks, right? And we just need some scissors. Alright, quick. All lesbians, bored. Now. think this is looking good enough. Let's drop a save. Apply all changes, and let's try adding some scenery, eh? Get this poor thing off the floor. Oh, maybe we need another thing or two to fix. Oops. How'd I forget that? Wow, I'm so very smart and talented all the time, clearly. Is this map released? Does it look finished? No, it's not released. Not even close. And it won't be until I feel like everything's finished.
Boing.
Which might take a while. Because right now we don't have buildings. One end of the line isn't finished, and I mean like there's not even any scenery over there. Saw pics in the Discord. What's the map looking like in game? I'll show it off in a second. First, let us make rocks. Very important. I hope you know. Rock is my favorite type of music. I'm sorry to tell you this, buddy. Paper's mine. Okay, layout. It's going to be an interchange here. Runs through an open prairie. Crosses a river. Gets to trees, forest. Goes alongside the river for a short time, and by a short time I mean a long time. Big town, helper services for heavier trains like the empty oil hauls, oil drags. Climbs a mountain, ascends the hill. This is kind of like what the prairie will look like, I think, but like no trees or something. We've got another prairie on the other side of the layout. Continues the climb till it makes it to Lavender Pass. Helpers can turn around and go down either direction, depending on which way they came from. I rather like this rock wall. There's just something really nice about this scene, in my opinion. I mean, it also helps that this is the first river I built on the railroad, right? And, waterfalls. This is where I got the technique perfected. And waterfalls. This is also where I got that technique perfected. Georgetown Loop. With the Georgetown Loop inspired bridge and the not so Georgetown Loop inspired bridge. Town. Descent. I'm trying to make this quick. Lake, passenger train, beer, town, river, which I still haven't actually got the depth to yet. Oops. Town, Oil fields. Also, what is this? This is the sort of prairie that I'm imagining. Final ascent, including this little bit in the prairie. There's a town here, passing sighting. Town here. End of line. I think that's about it. I hope that's all I have to share. That's all I can think of. Needs a prairie rail arrangement logo to go through it. I think Rail Raider was working on a prairie for a while. Also, prairies would be too small for this railroad, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of the ones that I know of wouldn't be big enough. Does that look too colorful? Should I try and mute the tones a little bit more? So that it blends in better with the colors of the ground? I legitimately don't know. Trees wouldn't grow in that terrain at all. You want scrub brush and lots more rocks. Cammy, I am basing this... First of all, I'm basing this off of vibes. Second of all, I'm basing this off of photos. I'm... Like, I understand that the terrain might be a little exaggerated, but I'm not doing this simply because I want trees. Well, okay, I am partially doing this simply because I want trees. But I have seen stuff that evokes this vibe. Commute the tones, maybe a few dead trees. Okay, why'd I delete all those? I'm gonna leave in this segment with these types of trees, and then I'll add some to this segment, maybe. You want trees, put them on the flatter parts. Cammy, I've seen trees on the really steep parts. I do recognize that trees in the flatter parts does make more sense, but I am basing this off of what I have actually seen. Okay, drier colors. This... I think this would suffice. Wait, why'd I put those in there? Hold on. Wrong one of you. Anyways, Wheel of Pain? Did somebody say Wheel of Pain? That was a 4. That was a 5. How many worse advertisement breaks are we going to have in this stream? We've had 2 from Wheels of Pain, 1 from me using the restroom, and one from somebody actually activating it. My god.
Here we go!
Hell incarnate. 5/5? No, it was not 5/5, it was 1 and 4. And that was Snake Eyes, which I think is just a double reroll, right? Hold on. Cursed. Oh no, that's waterboarding. Fortunately, I do not do waterboarding twice in a stream. That's just a general rule I have, so I don't spend 3 hours in the restroom after the stream's over. I'm at 5 for 5? What do you mean 5 for 5? What? What? Also, these trees look so much better. Yeah, the more fall-like colors really do feel more appropriate for the area, huh? 5 for 5 for worse. What do you mean 5 for 5 for worse ads? Like, we want to get the 5th one, or do we really want 5 worse ads in one stream? If so, I am concerned for everyone's sanity here. This feels too barren. I don't... It feels wrong to have nothing up here. To me. Anyways. Good luck and Godspeed, Twitch. It's not my fault there's advertisements. It's the gambler's fault. Roll call. Sound off. Who's not dead? Just make sure we leave this gamblers unnamed. We just have a board of how many people have gotten advertisements or whatever. The board of people you can hate from this live stream. You know, I haven't actually stretched in a while. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Y'all should too. Get those limbs moving, or else.
Yes.
As an ad girl, I'd probably be up there. Yeah, but are you the ad god? Well, I guess it would be goddess, but the answer is no, because that's, what's their face? That's RPG's job. RPG claimed that right very early on in the Cult Wars. I'm the fish goddess. This is giving me a terrible idea. What if we just make it so there's a redeem that does literally nothing except, like, you know what that means? Fish on the stream? Beauty. Wait, how's that looking? I think that looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty decent. That tree, maybe not so much. This is some lovely stuff. Thank you, thank you. I am very proud of what I've been able to do in this game recently. Dusk and Baxter, and I guess the other small micro layouts that are kind of forgettable, but I do like them. And of course this monstrosity that somehow gets under 60 FPS when it's fully loaded in on my PC, despite having an RTX 4070. Lag City. Population me. Need some cattails. That just gives me flashbacks to the time I blew somebody up in Minecraft with cattails. It was beautiful. Would recommend. For the court record, since the Fodster recently got home, I don't know if you guys heard him coming in, but he's very much home now. It's pizza night, and I am a little bit hungry. If the pizza comes out of the oven anytime soon, I am going to end stream to go eat some. I'm hungry. I want food. I want my routine. Hangry? Isn't hangry like hungry and angry? I found the only time I get truly angry is either when somebody's just trying to annoy me, or... yeah, I'm hangry. Hello, CNJ. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. I'll be honest, with how many people joined the stream, it's kind of hard to remember who's been here recently and who hasn't. I completely forgot about Rolling Line. It recently got a multiplayer update. It's great. It's awesome. Been having a lot of fun building layouts for myself and friends and community members to play. could... I think we can make this mountain peak a little more impressive, a little more interesting, have something more going on with it. I did not mean to pick that up like that. Is that narrow gauge? Yep. It is RL30. That's what it's referred to as by the community. Narrow gauge big boy. We don't have a narrow gauge big boy, but we do have... There is a mod for narrow gauge Santa Fe 210-10-2. It's legitimately so big that it breaks walls. It's too big. Heyo, Crypto, welcome to the stream. What's up? Oh, the ceiling isn't too far up, so let's go check. That doesn't look like there's anything up here. Not that interesting. I think you started streaming about the time I started a nap. Ouch. Especially ouch considering that I might have to go soon for dinner. Can we get some F in the chat for Crypto? .414 is just so weird. What was Russia on? Russia was on the desire to beat out the US by having a bigger, stronger locomotive than... It wasn't the big boys. I believe it was the 9000 class. Y'all know who invented the green light fitness tracker? What the heck is a green light fitness tracker? I mean, I think I can assume based on the title alone, but... It's a sensor in nearly all fitness trackers, huh? Yeah, no, I don't know who made that. I don't know anything about that. It was a cheetah therian named Spot. I almost just said Sporticus. I lazy town moment. Sadly passed away last summer. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there anything else? Oh, hold on. Is there any other type of scenery I should add to this? Are you having garlic bread with your pizza? I wish. He basically got overshadowed by his own accomplishment. It's kind of a sad reality of, like, a lot of people, I feel. Not literally everyone, of course, right? Like, there's a lot of names in the books, Marie Curie, but, like, I'm trying to think of a good example. But the problem is, when do you remember the examples of people who were overshadowed by their own creations to such a point that people have forgotten about them? Like, little rocks and ooh, true. I might need to add little patches of grass here and there, little tiny bits of bushes, not like huge amounts, you know. Do you know who, here's an example. Do you know who invented the lubricated plane bearing used in rail cars before the rolling bearing? Nope. Who invented the webcam? It's a kind of mundane example, but it's one that I think of. Oh, I just got a DM from the Fodster. Pizza is done. Pizza is ready. I told you guys it was going to be soon. And yeah, before we go, let's just run the coal drag through here, see how... Get it down the hill. See how it looks climbing. If there ain't any garlic bread, I ain't coming good. This ain't Thanksgiving. I don't want another 100 or 200 person gathering like that one we talked about earlier this stream. Gotta stream your layout creation more. I mean, the problem is with doing these layout creation streams, with any live stream, I need to have an active enough chat to like actually have the energy to keep going. And unfortunately, people like having action, and layout building is not enough action for most people, and so the streams eventually get tiring and boring for me, and I feel the desire to call it quits. I don't really know how to fix that, unfortunately. Oh, I'm not even going anywhere near fast enough to go down this hill. Oh, right, that's why we're not going anywhere near fast enough to go down this hill. $116? Why is it going faster than the game lets me go? Damn. Well, note to self, don't have the engine shoved downhill. Sometimes I show up and be crazy, making your stream longer. Hey, being crazy helps. If I have people to talk to, it makes things go smooth. Alright, let's run this at a slow pace of 30 just to admire the views. Greetings from the psychiatric ward. Hope everything's going fine. My sister once went to a psych ward. Long story about that. Fun fact, though, did you know that you can voluntarily check yourself in? I learned that earlier this year. It can actually be quite useful, especially if you're in a really bad mental place, you know? What's the backstory of this layout? I've not come up with the lore for this railroad yet. It just kind of exists within the context of I want train to run. Eventually we'll get lore. One of these years. Also, hopefully we'll get bigger engines. I need something a little stronger than a 460. Okay, you know what? This is probably good enough that I can get a screenshot here, right? There we go. Perfect. Until I got here, I learned how to get here myself before ending up here, having gotten into some real dumb situation. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad that it was a voluntary thing in a way, because that means it's more there's more control involved, and it's not that somebody else tried or whatever, but at the same time, it's not fun being there, from what I've heard from my sister. God, now isn't this a view? Well, hopefully by the time I stream next week, we'll actually have a finished layout. But that is heavily reliant either on me learning how to do buildings or on getting other people on board on the plan to build this layout. Because this is an undertaking. No kidding it is. I'm dropping below 60 FPS when looking at this layout. This is 15 by 20 room. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me show that real quick. It's actually 15 by 20. How about a 262 tender tank? No promises I actually get it done or release it. Probably too small for this railroad. Would be cute, don't get me wrong, but I think at this point, where's the locomotives? If we look at the engines that are already available in our, like, readily available in RL30. Oh my god, this drawer is too far into the... I keep screwing that up. Okay, apply. 280. A 280 like this is perfect size for the railroad. Problem is, this engine doesn't have any animation on its rods. Then we, of course, have... Actually, hold on. How's the Lawndale look? Huh. That is... surprisingly large for the Lawndale. I might need to compare these engines side by side. I guess we got one more thing to do before we end the stream, huh? Huh. Now, I guess it's a little bit short, though, isn't it? Yeah, okay. It is still a smaller engine. It's probably because one is scaled at RL30 and the... Oh, true. True, and the other was just old guide rails. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, nonetheless, chunkier engines. I think it's going to need something big. And I don't think a K27 would be appropriate because, like, simply, like, it would be perfect for the vibes of the railroad, right? This has a little bit of Colorado inspiration, but also so many people would be nerds and nitpick and obsess over every little detail on that engine and make whoever creates that locomotive very salty. But I think we're probably going to need something bigger than a 6-wheel driver locomotive for this line. And bigger than the Lawndale. But for now, thank you all for watching. It has been fun as always. I am starving. I need to go eat and I need to go redeem some flavored waterboarding. I shall see you all eventually. Take care, folks. Or else. I swear, if you don't take care, I am